welcome. We are here, we are back, we are talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare and the use of white phosphorus. I've done a video on this already, actually. I'm going to be echoing much of the same points, but it needs to be spoken about again. It's just total nonsense. This is over on IGN, and famously, we all know you can't spell ignorant without IGN. But amazingly, this article, like I've obviously given it a read through already. We have some great comments from John Phipps here. Some great arguments. Really stellar work. They're not. So let's get into it, right? Call of Duty Modern Warfare and the cruel realities of white phosphorus. I know, ladies and gents, mind fucking blown over the fact that we're talking about a weapon in a game that's about war. Now, a few things key to note there. Why is there a controversy over weapons in a war game, but also the fact that it's a game? What? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Now, the subtitle for this article is just creme de la creme. Opinion. Incendiary weapons can be used effectively in games, but the context is important. Do you know how I like to use my incendiary weapons effectively in games? By blowing the fucking shit out of my enemies. That's how you use them effectively, isn't it? Context is important. It's a game. It's a game. The whole purpose of the game is to have fun. Surely that context trumps any crap you're about to say. Any crap. And there's part of this article which will probably irritate a few people, my response to it. But we'll get to it in a second, because this whole article is total nonsense. War is particularly ubiquitous in video games, from the original Metal Gear to Battlefield Bad Company to Spec Ops: The Line, which had white phosphorus. It has become one of the most popular backdrops for a long line of games and the de facto setting for online multiplayer. It makes sense, after all. Video games are so often about conflict resolution, and what type of conflict is more recognisable than war? And there's no more recognisable name in war games than Call of Duty. Hence why we all want to bash on it, right? Hence why you want to rip on it now and get good old clicks for this article. Since the first game was released in 2003, Call of Duty has grown from a singular game about World War II into one of the most popular franchises in the world. COD has dropped players into battlefields ranging from occupied France in 1940s, the mid-2000s Middle East, the front lawn of the White House, and even into outer space. So I like the fact that they're setting the scene of how absolutely out there this game franchise can actually be, and how utterly fictional this game franchise has been, right? So they're not compel an argument from the outset. Hey, look at this game. It's entirely fictional. We've even thrown people into outer space. Somewhere we've not waged war yet. Where's your argument? Players have rescued hostages, conducted Black Ops missions, fought in the Battle of the Bulge, and stopped nuclear weapons from striking the continental United States. This year, Infinity Ward is rebooting the Modern Warfare series, aiming to make its campaign more realistic, which apparently it has. Like, it looks epic. IGN has seen an extended demo of the single-player campaign when it was first revealed, and gone hands-on with its multiplayer component, including its traditional match style, as well as the new gunfight and realism mode. It's here, especially in consideration of realism, that I feel the development team has made a problematic choice. We're getting the buzzwords, ladies and gents. A problematic choice in its online mode. It uses white phosphorus as a kill streak reward. Slap my wrist. To understand why I think the use of white phosphorus is a problem, we need to talk about war. Real war. Not the stuff of games. Of course we do. And this is where I'm probably going to offend a bunch of people. Straight from the bat, first things first. The fact that you're a US Marine. Top marks. I'm sure you've done epic things for your country, and I have the utmost respect, where it's deserved, for people who are in the forces. That's not relevant to this, and you don't deserve my respect when you're dropping it in as a counter-argument for a fictional game. A game you have literally just said is so fictional that you've thrown people into outer space. So no, this point here is entirely irrelevant. It's not relevant to your argument. It's not relevant at all. In fact, it's so irrelevant, it is... the mind boggles as to why you felt the need to front your argument with it. No, wait, I do know. Because you're looking for, not only are you looking for blind patriots, of which I know you're all hating on me now in the comment section, but you're also looking for support from people who just, again, absolutely respect it. They go, oh, you're a Marine, you must know what you're talking about, you must know, I'm going to listen to you now. It's not relevant to a fictional game. It's not relevant in the slightest. In a game that sends you to outer space. It's not relevant at all. You're doing it for brownie points. You know it. I know it. Some of the people in the comment section know it. But anyway, let's get into it. And again, I have the utmost respect for people that are in the forces and have defended our rights as free Western cultures. Genuinely, I do. But in the context of this argument, you do not have my respect. Because you are using that. I have respect for people that do these things, right? I don't have respect for people that do these things and then throw it in my face as a means for an argument against the game. I don't care at that point. You lost all respect because it's not relevant. What you've seen in war is not relevant to a fictional game. Again, let's get that straight. It's a fictional game about war. Why is white phosphorus such an issue when you are shooting people in the head? Why is one thing okay and not the other? I'm sure, I am absolutely certain, a whole bunch of people that have been in the forces will agree with me right now. White phosphorus, abhorrent, atrocious. It's a weapon though. Or sitting there next to people and then watching them get shot at. Which is on this, which is higher on the scale? I'm sure they're pretty even, to be perfectly honest. I'm sure if you've actually experienced it, it's all fairly level. It's all pretty atrocious. I don't think you can look at it and go, oh well, you know, one's probably I'd prefer to this one or I prefer that one. No, it's all pretty gross, isn't it? It's all pretty nasty. Yeah? God. I'm not even going to read his nonsense about him being in the forces because it's absolutely not relevant. And again, you've lost all respect. At that point in time, you're throwing it, you're lording it over people to say, look at this, look what I've done. In an argument about a fictional game. Not relevant at all. It's really not relevant at all. And you're talking about it. You're talking about what it is. And how it's created. How they've used it. It's regulated by international law. Provisions. Geneva Convention. Again, how is it relevant? Right? Now it says, here's where we get to the absolute crux of the matter. White phosphorus isn't something to be taken lightly. And being shot in the head is... How about next time, right, rather than writing articles, you join the Olympics? Because these mental gymnastics you're doing to justify one being okay and not the other is insane. You're an epic athlete. Those mental gymnastics. So good. Now, it says that doesn't inherently mean it has no place in games. The Spec Ops The Line showed us with its brutal depiction of the aftermath of a white phosphorus strike. Weapons like this and the resulting horror they inflict can be handled with nuance. It's a game. Is there much nuance in being shot? No. And respect for the reality around the weapon itself. It's a game. You don't need respecting the reality. People have swords in games. People get chopped up and decapitated. And unfortunately, people still use swords to do that to this very day. Terrorists, in fact. So, where's the respect? Why is one okay but the other's not? I don't understand. And again, I have to repeat because there will be people hating on me so bad in the comment section. I absolutely unequivocally respect people that are in the forces and do defend the freedoms that we have in the Western world. Genuinely do. But I'm sure you guys, some of you guys, will probably agree that it's not okay to lord that over people as a means to push a narrative. To go, well, I did this, so therefore I'm right. No, it's a game. You do lose all respect when you're trying to lord it over people. So anyway, Spec Ops: The Line not only treated white phosphorus with gravity and horror, it also depicted the psychological effect it can have on the soldiers responsible for using when confronted with the results. I believe it's perfectly fine to weave a serious narrative about war in video games. The whole argument is invalid at that point. Video games. There has been absolutely proven evidence that nothing in video games will make people violent. It's proven. There's been enough research on it now. Enough research. Now here we go. But I find Modern Warfare's use as a kill streak reward a nearsighted glorification of what myself and others consider to be a violation of the laws of armed conflict. But I find Modern Warfare's use as a kill streak reward a nearsighted glorification of what myself and others consider to be a violation of the laws of armed conflict. It is a violation of the laws of armed conflict, isn't it? Isn't it? I think I might be missing something. It doesn't matter if you consider it is. But as a kill streak reward in a video game, it doesn't have to meet the laws of armed conflict, does it? Oh my god. Here we go, right? Other kill streak rewards such as UAVs, vehicles, radars, and missile strikes are commonplace on the battlefield. I've seen every single one of them used in real life. White phosphorus is on an entirely different scale. Yeah. I don't believe something as legally and morally questionable as white phosphorus is appropriate in the very specific way Infinity Ward is applying it here. Well, more for you, mate. As someone who's seen firsthand what can happen to the human body in combat, I wish Infinity Ward would give this one a bit more consideration. Well, surely we should not go and bloody blow people up in video games either then. I literally don't understand. I don't understand. Look, John, mate, I know that you were probably asked to jump on here because, look, you're a former United States Marine, TakeThis.org ambassador and co-host Super Deformed Gamescast. You can find them on blah, 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 blah. Like, you're probably a decorated hero, and you were probably asked to jump on and do an op-ed piece to push this narrative. But it's very off base because the entire point of a video game is that it's fiction. You opened it by saying they've been to space. They've been to space. Right? So people can discern the difference. And I know I'm going to get people hating on me. I know that. But if you just stop and thought for 1 second how someone lords over you what they've done as a means to push their opinion onto you and to say that it's legitimate when the entire point of this is that it's a video game, it's a very disrespectful way to treat your own history and also to treat other people that have been in the forces. I think, personally. But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know down below in the comments. If you're new here, hit subscribe. Stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. If you like this video, please do give it a like and a share. As always, remember to stay, take care.